If you buy a brand new combine harvester today, you are buying an $800,000 computer on wheels that a single software glitch can brick. One Nebraska farmer watched his entire soybean harvest rot in the field while he waited 11 days for a John Deere technician to drive out and type in a 4-digit authorization code. 11 days. $147,000 in lost crop value for a code. That should make your blood boil. He was not allowed to enter that code himself. The diagnostic system is encrypted, the repair manual is copyrighted, the software is licensed, not owned. You hand over $800,000 and you still need permission to fix what breaks. Smart farmers figured this out years ago. They are using something called the pre-code loophole. And today I am going to show you exactly how it works, which specific tractors qualify, and where the shrewd buyers are finding them before everyone else catches on. Picture harvest season in central Illinois. Corn is ready, the weather window is closing. A farmer's 2023 Case IH combine throws an error code at 6 in the morning. The machine will not start, not because something is broken. The air filter sensor detected a pressure variance of 0.3 pounds per square inch outside factory parameters, and the onboard computer decided that constitutes a critical failure. The farmer knows exactly what is wrong. He has been farming for 32 years. The fix takes 9 minutes and a screwdriver, but the combine will not let him fix it. Modern agricultural equipment runs on proprietary diagnostic software that only authorized dealerships can access. When your tractor throws a code, you have two choices: pay the dealer to come out or watch your crops die waiting. The average service call for a diagnostic reset runs between $150 and $400, not including parts, not including the actual repair, just for someone to plug in a laptop and clear the error. In peak harvest season, wait times stretch to 2 weeks because every dealer in a 3-county radius is overwhelmed with identical calls. Consider the math for a moment. American farmers collectively lose an estimated $1.2 billion annually in delayed harvest costs tied directly to diagnostic lockouts. That figure comes from the American Farm Bureau Federation, not some fringe estimate. The equipment manufacturers designed this system on purpose. They call it protecting intellectual property. What it actually does is transform every farmer into a recurring revenue stream, someone who has no choice but to keep paying or stop working entirely. This is why the most financially sophisticated operators have stopped buying new equipment altogether. They discovered that tractors built before a specific technological cutoff date have none of these digital restrictions. You can diagnose them with a timing light. You can fix them in your barn with parts from any supplier. You own them completely. The manufacturers do not want you knowing about this cutoff date, because once you understand it, their entire business model stops working on you. To understand why smart farmers are going backwards, you first have to understand what happened in 1983. That year, John Deere introduced the 50 Series tractors with the electronic control unit. For the first time in agricultural history, a microprocessor sat between the farmer and the engine. The marketing promised easier diagnostics and improved efficiency. The reality was something else entirely. By 1985, the ECU had evolved to include fault memory that only factory tools could clear. By 1988, engine timing parameters could only be adjusted through proprietary software. By 1992, the software itself required annual license renewal for independent repair shops. This was not an accident. Internal Deere documents from a 1994 shareholder presentation, obtained through a lawsuit discovery process, explicitly identified aftermarket parts displacement as a strategic revenue target. In other words, they wanted to eliminate your ability to buy cheaper third-party parts by making those parts incompatible with the tractor computer. The playbook spread across the entire industry within a decade. Case IH followed in 1987, New Holland in 1989, and HXO by 1991. Today, every major manufacturer uses some version of the same diagnostic lockout architecture. Here's where the conspiracy gets documented. In 2016, John Deere filed formal comments with the Copyright Office arguing that farmers do not actually own their tractors. Instead, they argued farmers own an implied license for the life of the vehicle to operate the vehicle. Your tractor is legally structured as a subscription you already paid full price for. Meanwhile, the equipment kept getting more complicated. A 2024 John Deere 8R has over 120 networked sensors, 9 separate control modules, and requires dealer software authorization for 43 different repair categories. Something as basic as replacing a fuel injector now triggers a mandatory recalibration that only the dealer can perform. The window of owner-serviceable agricultural equipment slammed shut somewhere between 1978 and 1984. Everything before that window runs on mechanical fuel injection, analog gauges, and zero software dependencies. Everything after starts the long slide into digital serfdom. Look at your tractor's dashboard right now. If it has a digital display that shows error codes, you need to understand what those codes actually represent. They are not there to help you. They are there to create billable events. Modern agricultural equipment generates fault codes for conditions that would never stop a mechanical tractor from running. Low washer fluid triggers a code. Ambient temperature outside the expected range triggers a code. Seat sensor malfunction because you shifted your weight triggers a code. Each one gets logged, and accumulated codes can eventually put the machine into limp mode, where it limits power output until a dealer clears the system. The right to repair movement has fought this for years. Colorado passed agricultural equipment repair legislation in 2023. Minnesota followed, but read the actual text of these laws carefully because the manufacturers did. John Deere's compliance with Colorado's law involves providing repair manuals at an annual subscription cost of $3,500 and diagnostic tools that still require dealer activation for 41 specific repair categories. They followed the letter of the law while violating its entire spirit. The Electronic Frontier Foundation documented that Deere's authorized repair portal for farmers contains 27% fewer diagnostic functions than the dealership version, and it times out after 12 months regardless of purchase price. You cannot buy the full capability, you can only rent a limited version. You are paying $200,000 for the privilege of renting your own equipment, and another $400 every time you need permission to keep it running. Pre-code tractors bypass this entire system, completely. The golden window runs from 1978 to 1984, and specific models within that range have become the most strategically valuable equipment on the secondary market. Start with John Deere's 40 series. The 4040 and 4040 models from 1978 to 1982 run mechanical Bosch fuel injection with no electronic management whatsoever. Horsepower ranges from 90 to 110 at the PTO, which handles everything a mid-size operation requires. Current auction prices run between $18,000 and $28,000 for units with under 8,000 hours. Rebuild kits for the fuel system cost $340 through aftermarket suppliers. International Harvester's 86 series represents equally strong value. The 986 and 1086, produced between 1976 and 1981, used the proven D358 and D436 engines with entirely serviceable injection pumps. The 1086 delivers 131 horsepower and currently trades between $15,000 and $24,000 at Midwest auctions, depending on tire condition and 3-point hitch wear. Case's 90 series from 1978 to 1983 offers the highest horsepower in this window. The 2290 produces 161 PTO horsepower from a turbocharged 504 cubic inch engine, purely mechanical, with a robust parts aftermarket that includes new manufacture pistons and injectors. These machines sell between $22,000 and $35,000. Compare those numbers to current equipment costs. A new John Deere 6R series with similar horsepower starts at $195,000 and requires dealer software for 37 maintenance categories. Over a 15-year ownership period, a conservative estimate places dealer diagnostic cost alone at $18,000 to $32,000, nearly the entire purchase price of a pre-code equivalent. Every farmer running pre-code equipment I interviewed reported the same calculation. They could buy 3 vintage tractors, completely rebuild 2 of them, keep 1 for parts, and still spend less than a single year's payment on new financed equipment. Farm auctions and estate sales move the best pre-code equipment, but you need to arrive with specific knowledge, or you will overpay for someone else's neglected mistake. To understand why John Deere, Case IH, and AGCO spend millions lobbying against right to repair legislation, you first have to understand one number: 63%. That is the percentage of dealer revenue that now comes from service and parts, not from selling new equipment. A 2023 industry analysis found that the average authorized dealer makes more profit from a single diagnostic visit than they do from the commission on a $40,000 implement sale. Think about that. The dealership business model has quietly inverted. Selling you the tractor is no longer the point. Trapping you into the service ecosystem afterward is the entire game. And the diagnostic software lockout is the padlock on that trap. When you understand the service revenue model, the hostility toward vintage equipment makes perfect sense. Every pre-code tractor still running is a customer who opted out of the subscription permanently, and manufacturers are terrified that more farmers are about to do the same thing. If this video changed how you see the equipment industry, subscribe now. I break down corporate playbooks every week so you can stay ahead of them. Click it now. Your financial independence depends on knowing this.